I mean, look, I'll put it like this. To me, the weird part about the Diddy thing is this. I think about all the different times that I've, been with a beautiful woman and we're having sex. It's a great experience. At no point did I ever think, what would make this even better? If a dude walked in and banged her in front of me, and then I get the sloppy seconds.
Okay.
And then she rubs the man juice on my nipples. Yeah. Oh yeah. That'll bring it up to 10. It's at 7. That'll be 10. I've never thought that.
You want to know?
I've never thought that.
You want to know it's a trip?
Okay. Let's
that
hear
everybody is letting slip by.
Let's hear it.
Is rappers are always saying, "Let my man's hit now."
Yeah. I mean,
right?
Diddy has said it
a bunch of times. And being an athlete,
I've never been into that, but go ahead.
So most of the time, you and a crew, it's just how it is.
I saw Tupac went to jail, by the way.
Right.
That situation you're talking about.
And Mystical, right, was in the same situation. I'm just telling you, and I remember I had saved these young college guys. This girl in Vegas was acting drunk because she thought they were NBA players. And she was acting drunk and feeling up on them and doing all things. I would take you and and they were like, oh, and I like moved her out of the way and pushed it and then got security and moved. They were like, yo, what you doing? I said, she's setting y'all up. And he was like, huh? I said, she's not drunk. She's just setting y'all up. And they were like, at first mad because they needed some, I guess they thought, and that girl was gonna do them all. It's always a problem when that's happening. But, I grew up as an athlete and, it's how we do it.
Now listen, there are some girls that like that. And that's...
And you watch porn. Yeah. You like gangbang.
Yeah, I do like some of them.
Then that's the answer.
True. But, I can tell when I'm watching, a scene on my laptop of the gangbang, no liquid is hitting me in the face afterwards. You know what I mean? I can tell you
gotta get that new Samsung.
That new Samsung with the liquid Samsung, with actual liquid. Now, listen, this is the part I don't understand. I was talking to my homegirl about this the other day. It's like, if this is what Diddy wanted, if he wanted to be a cuckold, if he wanted, to see a dude begging the girl in front of him, there are so many sex workers that are totally fine with that.
He used
porn girls. No, female sex workers. But it's always, you don't hear about any female sex workers.
Can't sleep with them.
What do you mean?
Can't spend the night with a female sex worker.
You could if you pay enough.
Yeah, but then that's a dangerous situation. If the one you supposedly love and loves you, that's who you want to do these experiments with. And that's what he thought he had in Cassie.
Well, and he did. Also Daphne Joy, 50 Cent's baby mama.
So they say.
No, I mean, she took the stand. She went into detail.
Yeah.
Do you think she's lying about the whole thing, that they never even met?
No. I love Daphne. So
I feel like you know something here. Oh, you know Daphne.
Yeah, I know Daphne, but I'm a fan of Daphne. So
no, listen, Daphne
mad.
said that she got subpoenaed. She didn't want to testify. In fact, he's still paying her rent to this day. $10,000 a month.
Yeah, I'm a Daphne fan.
No, it's a little crazy because why are you doing all this with Diddy when 50's your baby father and he's damn near...
Because he don't like her money. He don't like her anymore.
Yeah, but he still has to pay child support.
Yeah.
And when you make that much money, child support is significant.
But her life doesn't stop. And he wanted her life to stop. And obviously that's what she's into. And he's
no, she says she wasn't into it. This was something that Diddy was into and she was doing it to please him because she was in love with him and blah, 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 blah. And look, at the end of the day, okay. This is a trial. This is not morals and ethics and what's right and what you believe is right and wrong and what you don't think should happen. Look, he told her, for us to keep having a relationship, you have to keep letting guys have sex with you in front of me. and I'll keep paying your rent.
And
but she could say, I'm not into that. Okay, that's cool. So and
then
she
I'm
said,
not into this.
Yeah, and she
it's
said,
an arrangement.
Yeah, I mean, she said, he said, well, if you don't want to do it, then, I'll just give you a few more months and then we'll be done. So, okay, cool. There's nothing illegal about that.
No.
You are dating a woman. If you want to financially support her and she's sexually satisfying you and it's a cool situation, you keep it going at the point that she says, I don't want to do, whatever, I don't want to give you head anymore. All right, well, I like head, and, since you don't want to do it, then, this probably ain't going to work out. So,
correct.
There's nothing illegal by saying, I'm going to stop paying your rent if you don't want to do this.
I just looked at it as I kept saying it was a distraction. Because if somebody says, I'll give $50 million in bond, it does nothing but help the state of New York, period. So when you don't take that bond money, it's something deeper than it could be.
But the bond, not really. It doesn't really help New York because...
It does.
No. You're putting up property, but then you get that back once you show up to court. Now, it'll help New York if you skip trial and you end up in Russia somewhere. Yeah, it helps New York.
Yeah, but where could he go that he couldn't be brought back?
Russia.
How was he going to get there?
Round trip ticket before he actually got arrested. During the grand jury, he should have bought a round trip ticket to Russia and thrown away the return ticket. Steven Seagal is still there. Steven Seagal had a whole bunch of rape charges. He went to Russia and he's still there. There's a parade recently with Putin and Steven Seagal is like the guest of honor. Edward Snowden that leaked all the FBI, defense, documents and so forth. He has treason charges. He's facing life in prison. He is still in Russia right now doing podcasts. He could have just went to Russia and said, okay, you think that America is going to start a war with Russia over Diddy to try to extradite him back?
No.
You think so? Start an international incident that might result in nuclear weapons because we want to get Diddy back so he'll face trial? No, it's over. You get to Russia, it's game over. Russia would love him. He could produce a whole bunch of Russian acts and,
We can't call it Black Russian anymore. He'd be the Black Russian.
He'd be the Black Russian.
Give me a Black Russian.
That's
Diddy,
right.
get over here.
They'd have to change the drink name.
Mm-hmm.